I teach in electronic engineering at CYCU. So, brainstorming is one of favorite class skill. I would like to invite all of you to brainstorming together. Is it possible to create a significant change to the world due to your little sharing? For example, to share a book alone with your friends, or share an app to the public. Recently, an app of car service called Uber has brought lots of benefits to car drivers and customers worldwide. To some, the power of sharing may be not visible, so you may neglect its value. But from my experience, the power of community sharing and participating is beyond life. So, I would like to give one story and some examples to prove the power of sharing and participating I experienced, and then did create some contribution cross generation and cross country to the people of the world. First is a story of my father. When I was 8 years old, one day I found a magazine, Today's World, 今日世界, from my father's bookshelf. There was an article reporting my father's story. He was a high school mathematics teacher and studied in the education at the University of Philippines through the sponsorship supported by the U.S. International Cooperation Administration in 1955. At that time, the Philippines in Asia was a pioneer country who have communication school program developed with the U.S. The program is designed to promote fullest growth and development of the school student and to give effective vocational education to out-of-school youth and adults, and to bring about the improvements in a wide range of community activities. My father brought this new education approach back to Taiwan. Community school can integrate that vocational training skill with regular curriculum of the school education. So it can integrate that skill from industries, school, and communities. 60 years ago, vocational training or vocational education, in Chinese we call it 技职教育, is not well completed, established. So, for those students, they would not go on college. In that time, they don't have interest to sit in class, to have theoretical lectures in whole days. They more prefer to have some organized hands-on work and off-campus activities. Through my father's sharing, local students, even for local communities and local industries, they provide practical training, for example, the manufacturing, automobile driving, and maintenance, increasing that job opportunity, and also raise the rank of the employment. So from this kind, sharings change a lot of local students and residents in Judong. So father's achievements enhanced my belief the power of sharing. There was a seed incubated in my mind during my child time. I hope I can follow his steps someday. Can you imagine how long 15 years is? Why I mentioned the 15 years? Because it is about 5,500 days. What you can do during these long terms? We can take a cherry frog as a sample. I planted in front yard of our house. We're lucky have 2 cherry frog trees. We incubate them through our seed breeding, cultivation, irrigation, and let them grow up to be blooming. So, 15 years, you cannot let everything become over to see effective in a second. Even your dream, your idea, they need time to accumulate. Then you can let your idea into action. So after I teach in the Department of Electrical Engineering, start from 1991, we are fortunate through the cross-department, cross-field professors participate together and share their knowledge together. We built up the first international graduate student program at CYCU. Through those achievements, we find that the CYCU campus become more internationalized. Especially, they force us, even I get the education in United States, that's in 1983, but now that's 2015, long time ago. So they force you, when you have any international student, your lecture should be full English, but that one will have some barrier even to speakers. So I'm glad to have that kind of situations or experience to let all students, not only local students, but international students, they grow up together. So that's one kind of power of sharing and participation. As I note, there are more than 100 professors and students. They can design their own integrated circuits for their countries. So in my mind, what I participated in 15 years ago, I cannot imagine that. But through that, sharing can lead to effective results for the CYCU and human beings. This is the information to talk about our international graduate student programs. At CYCU, in the moment, we only have 4 tracks. They cover into different colleges, but they are important minutes that bring the international to CYCU and also bring CYCU out to the world. So this is one kind of sharing and participation between different countries, different people together. So the expanded of participating and sharing start from CYCU. At this moment, we have chance to let all activity more globalized through the different efforts contribute for the whole participants, they become better to the world. Next one, the example, the power of sharing and participating across country. My major is microelectronics. Microelectronics, they are dealing with electronics in micrometer scale. So maybe let me give you some idea about what's the micrometer. You're more familiar with the centimeter, millimeter. You know the diameter of the hair equal to 0.1 millimeter. So the micrometer, there's the tiny, tiny scales. Okay? But microelectronics, they create a lot of applications. For example, you have your cell phone, you have your iPad, something like that. So my personal interest are focused on more advanced knowledge or technology. For example, I have collaborated research with different countries such as USA, students in the Philippines, and research team in Poland. Through that cooperations, we got the knowledge from different countries, and I focus on that bio-inspired device. I'm more focused on what we call the electronic tongue. So electronic tongue, you can see that if you're a good tester for red wine, you know, they will have some disadvantage. Maybe in the morning, you are very good, can test the different flavor. But to the afternoon, maybe you're drunk. Because we are human beings, they will have some limitation of your testing functions. So for degenerated organ or special for the aging society, we can develop electronic tongue. So that means it mimics the natural human tongue's organs. So through the electronic tongue, it can directly to sense the component in the solutions. Usually, electronic tongue should be mimic your tongue and taste buds. So they are two-dimensional array. So they can form by the semiconductor technology by using ion selected FET, field effect transistors. This is the example to show you how to mimicize the components into our single chips. We mentioned this is what we call the very large scale integral circuit. Its definition that's more than 10,000 transistors accommodate into a tiny chip. You can figure out, so tiny chips, it has a potential to use for your future implantable device. It may detect the disease, even can cure the defect of your bodies. So for that kind of technology, we integrate different departments from chemistry, from mechanical engineering, or from the EE students. So for that kind of contributions, they let me feel that even my small environment, they may have chance to make the world different. Next, we know that the share and participating, they can through different medium. We know that the power can create from different kind of transportation. Since we are doing integral circuits, so consider food safety and the aging society. We'd like to improve that other people to have better quality life. I also dedicate into the advanced technology used in precision agriculture. That means we use wireless sensor network to apply it into the greenhouse. So with the accumulating experience shared for those farmers together, we can have chance to increase organic farm harvest efficiently. Then we can distribute more healthy food to people. In addition, through those discovery, our applications, you may find that under the guaranteed quality of food safety, you can enjoy in the night market about the drinking happily. So for me, stories and example, they give you some basic concept I would like to share. This means through all participations, you can have different kind roles in the world. So the seed in my mind cultivated and grew up. I believe, so I participate. I do, then I share. As the theme I propose in this talk, no matter what major you are or how old you are, they can give you different viewpoints. So I hope you can share the life TED experience to your friends or students. They are not here. To face more challenging world issues, for example, food safety, aging society, and sustainable management in daily life, I believe that with diversified participation, the power of sharing and participation will enhance and continue to change the world. Thank you for your listening.